It's Halloween. Cue the music. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everyone, and welcome back to a spooky episode of the Good Leader Podcast. We are on a mission to increase the world's leadership capacity, and we know the world needs better leaders, and you are one of them. My apologies to everyone who had your volume turned up. Sorry about that. I just realized, if that's the first thing, like if you're a dedicated, loyal Good Leader Podcast listener, and you just hit play, your volume could have been really high.
And you have the volume
turned
all the way
up
in your car.
If you are a loyal listener, they are fully expecting you to be coming in full force.
That's
at the
a great
very
point.
beginning of the
Well,
episode.
actually, speaking of that, I need the applause button over there, Rochelle. Give me the applause. Big applause, because this is a happy day. We're excited. This is one of the best announcements we could ever make. Jess is out. This is her last episode of the Good Leader Podcast.
The best
Crowd's going
announcement
crazy.
you could ever make.
I'm just so excited.
Oh, you're so excited for me to leave.
You asked us to be nice to you.
I am.
Okay.
We're not giving all our grievances.
This isn't passive.
What do you mean? I'm confused. I'm just excited. I don't
Are
have
you
to
like
put up with
happy
your
I'm
crap
leaving, or
anymore.
are you like happy to send me on my
Listen,
way?
I've done podcasts with you and without you. And
They
you're not
suck-
going to be on them anymore.
They suck
so
when I'm not here.
I am not losing sleep over it. I'll put it that way. So,
so much for being nice
talking
to you.
about this is about fear. This is about fear. I'm worried about the podcast without Jess. Not true at all. Not scared.
But you are
one
going to be
bit.
missed.
By Anj.
I've been.
There you go.
I've been.
Take solace in that.
I've been with us here at the Good Leader
From the start.
Since we
here's
began.
the thing. Here's the thing.
From the start.
Of all the podcasts I've ever done over the last 10 years, Live Your List and Good Leader had a lot of different characters.
2 podcasts, everybody.
2 podcasts, but of all the podcast episodes, I should say.
Got it?
Which is well into the hundreds, actually.
Sure.
So
Yeah.
of all those podcast episodes with guests, with various characters, I can genuinely say you're one of them.
I was there.
So
You're
with that,
one of them?
I was there.
That was a setup for
In
like
fact-
I
this
thought he was going to
moment.
really be
No,
nice.
I knew.
We will be saving it for the exit interview,
Wow.
folks.
Oh my gosh.
oh, baloney.
Yeah, we'll leave it.
My exit view already happened. Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
When did you leave?
Gen Z. All right. I have a game today because it is Halloween. Trick or treat. Jess, trick or treat.
How often do you get that?
A lot growing
Trick or
up.
treat.
I bet.
It was a lot growing up.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking of that. That's
Really?
ridiculous. Yeah, I totally missed it.
Are you asking me if I
Your
would
last
rather
name-
trick or treat?
Your last name is Treat. Well,
Jessica
it was
Treat.
Halloween. We're about to play a game. So I said, yes, Jessica, trick or
You
treat.
just-
I could see that.
You just directed it right to
I
her, so I
did.
assumed it was treat.
I did because of the game. Trick or treat. And I was going to say, like, do you want to go first? Do you want to let somebody else go first? I was setting up the game. I wasn't setting up a pun.
Jessica treat,
I'm just
trick or
that
treat.
good. Well, you can't say it like that. That's nerdy. Jessica, treat,
That's
trick
the
or
point.
treat.
That's why I didn't
Okay,
think it
good.
was cool.
Can
Okay,
we
good.
please move on?
All right, I have a game.
You're the center of attention today.
This game is,
I feel it.
it's a contest. It's competitive.
Oh,
Guessing
okay.
game.
All right.
You have to pick. This is Halloween, and you are going to name a franchise, one of the top 10. I'm trying to look at my list here of horror movies that have
Oh, no.
more
Oh no.
than one edition.
Oh, I'm going to be pretty
You see what
bad
I'm
at this,
saying?
but I'll give it my best
like
shot.
like
Love-
part 1, part 2, part 3.
This
Horror
is gonna-
movies,
this is
Jess
gonna
is
be
gonna
like-
win.
classically,
This is like me in
classically,
sports.
classically, horror movies have. Yeah, but just comment
Can
to
Rochelle and
every
I be
place.
on a team
Yeah,
against
You know what?
Jess?
That's fair.
We're
That's
gonna
fair.
combine
That's good. Okay,
our
yeah.
brain
It'll be
cells.
just.
Don't say
this
anything
is,
until we-
This is the
Yeah.
tricks versus the treat. That's not terrible. Forget I said that. That's terrible. That was bad. Let's erase that.
Again,
Erase that. That was bad.
may we move on?
Okay, here we go.
Please.
Definitely. Sorry, everybody. Sorry about that. That was. You know what? Sometimes swing and a miss. Swing and a miss. Really. I own that, and I immediately regret
Thank
it. Okay.
You ready to trick?
So I have
I'm
18.
ready.
Please stop. I have 18.
Tricky number 1.
I have 18 horror franchises with the most movies. That's it. 18.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
They can't come up with anything new.
That,
I
well,
was
that's
like,
the
I think I know
thing.
2.
I mean,
I
that's
think I have a couple.
that's the
I
thing.
have-
Let's not even do 18 because I mean, some of them. Well, actually, number 15, I would probably.
Hey,
guess.
don't cut
Number
don't cut Rochelle and I short.
Okay, yeah, you'll need more guesses. This will
We
give
will.
you more of a
We
chance.
will need
You're right.
more
Like,
guesses.
oh.
It's just hard for me to scroll up and down that fast. But I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try my best. It's okay. I've got it. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. You know what? I don't appreciate that. Okay, keep that up. I'm gonna be just as happy when you leave. All right,
I'm ready.
Here we go. Go, Jess. You get to go first. Give me one of these.
Halloween.
Halloween coming in at number high. Let's just call it a point for Jess. I can't even remember. I can't even see how many.
No. I have to come up
But yeah,
with the
it's a lot.
things?
Well,
Yes.
you and
Okay.
your partner.
All right.
over there.
I think I have one.
Halloween's coming in at number 3. Number 3 with 13 films.
Love.
Great.
Halloween
Yikes.
was number 3.
We both have the same guess, which is the only one we got.
Okay, give me your guess.
Wow.
Saw.
Saw is a great answer. I think it was number
It's the
5.
only one we got.
That was one of my guesses.
Yeah, it's a good
Okay.
guess.
It's a good one.
And if you're playing along at home, this is how you play. Guess and you'll see where it lands. Where is it? Number 6, because they have 10 films. All right, Jess, this is up to you.
Dang, what is
Man,
it called?
I am having to scroll like a madman over here with all these
Yeah.
advertisements.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I will say these are very guessable. A couple of them are very broad, like they're including a lot of things.
Okay.
So there's some real guessable stuff here.
All right.
Jess, what do you got?
Freddie and Jason.
Well, those are two different things. Which one are you going to go with?
Oh, well, we'll do Freddie then.
Okay, Nightmare on Elm Street
What?
is coming in at.
Well, they make a.
I'm sorry. How did she say
They
Fred?
did, so that would count for
and
both.
you came up
Yeah.
with
That would count for both.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah. That
Well,
was confusing.
I'm going to be just as generous as y'all.
Well, because there is like
For
a
the
Freddy
entire-
versus Jason movie,
Yes.
then there's like another one. and,
Number
like,
8. 9 films, Nightmare on Elm Street. 8 films. All right. I'll be
Okay.
just as generous as
I
y'all.
wouldn't have known that one. That's
Yeah,
fine. I
I'll
wouldn't
be
have
just
known
as
Didn't even know
generous.
that was too. So
give
I could just say a
yours.
random thing and it might be correlated to
that.
something.
Yeah, give it.
If you're close, sure.
okay, Scream.
I know my audience. Well,
Scream.
Scream is an actual answer, and
We
that
knew
is
that.
the movie, and
Okay,
that is the
we had
franchise.
that.
Yeah.
And that
That's where
is
I'm
coming in at number 12 or 13, I think. Let's see, 14.
we kept the list.
6 films.
All right.
Scream. That's
your
a great
girl,
answer.
your girl Jenna Ortega is in the new one. Have you seen those?
I have seen a little bit of the promo.
That's
the
his
new
girl?
one is good.
Have you seen it?
Yeah,
Oh,
he,
yeah.
he like we talked about her in the last episode.
Yeah,
because
she's
of
Wednesday Addams.
Wednesday. Yeah.
Very popular
That's right.
dance for
That's
a minute on TikTok,
Yes.
and all the
Yep,
kids
yep,
were doing
yep.
it.
Yes.
Yeah.
You did it too.
Oh, I guess
It's
my,
fun.
It's my
I
turn.
applauded it. I didn't actually do that one, but it's good. I like.
I need to see one of you in Adelaide.
This kind of number.
Yeah.
You know those like dad and daughter ones that they do?
That was pretty good, right,
was
Jess?
really-
It shows I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I would love to see you, and I'm going to tell her when we're
Be on
done.
fire. You tell her. You tell her. All right, Jess, you got one? Yeah, they just got Scream, so it's 2-2.
Yeah. Let's go with Chucky.
Chucky is correct. Child's Play
no.
coming in at
Someone-
number. I don't see the number. It's top 10. It's definitely top 10. Number 10 with 8 films. There have been
Wow.
8 of those Child's
Yeah.
Play
Why
movies.
That's
are there
crazy.
so
Horror
many?
movies you talk about milking
Yeah.
the cow till she's dry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Horror films do it.
For sure.
And people keep going. People keep showing up, you know?
The classics.
The classics. I will say.
Man, I can think of so many in my head right now, but I cannot remember the title of any of these movies.
Yeah, she was describing
She
to me a
said
whole
Chucky,
thing.
and
Can
I
I
gave it
tell
to
you?
her.
Can I tell you?
There are
one?
movies
I
you
don't.
called
I don't-
Chucky, though.
Yeah, well, there's
Is there?
close. There's not actual Chucky.
I mean, like, there's
Bride
Child's
of
Play is
Chucky,
the
Child's Play
original.
1, 2, and 3, and
Yeah.
then there's the Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky.
Yeah.
I can't
like
tell
that.
you. I can't wait to tell
I don't
you
like that.
the
Go
one
for it.
that's in my head.
We
but
might-
why don't you
all
tell
I
it now?
can
Well, do you
think
have
of-
another real answer?
We
or
do.
an
We
answer?
do.
Okay, go.
No,
Give me the
I'll
real
use
answer.
Rochelle's answer.
Okay. It.
Yes.
Sorry, not in the top.
what? Wow.
Because it doesn't have that many. It's got the original movie that came out in the 80s, and then it's got the remake. So it's only
Oh.
2.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
There's not a whole It franchise. It's a good scary movie. Terrifying.
Yeah.
No, thank you. I don't want to watch it. No thanks. I'm out. I watched it as a kid. I watched a lot of scary movies as a kid. I watched it as
Really?
an adult. Oh my gosh, yes. I watched. I don't know why my parents let me watch stuff. I watched Chucky when I was like 8.
I was watching all
was
the Saw
terrifying.
movies.
Yeah.
growing
I
up.
was watching the Saw one,
It was
And that's like-
terrifying.
and those are
so
awful.
real.
I watched.
I will say the first Saw
The Quiet
movie
Place.
was great. The first one was really good.
Oh.
Good
Yeah.
twist.
Yeah.
Who said that?
It's
yeah.
gory because the first
Well,
one's
no,
not
'cause
really
it's only
scary.
2.
I mean, it is scary,
Oh,
but it's
instead
more of
more
like a
than 2.
mystery.
Yeah, we just said
almost.
something.
And
I
it's
the
totally
first
agree.
Oh, but it's just so realistic. Too.
It is,
Like-
and then the twist is so good at the end. Okay, what do you got over there? Or is it Jess?
It's just
it's me.
Oh, it's you. Yeah.
We're conferring.
We will go with the Insidious movies. Is Insidious on this
It's not on the list. It doesn't have enough. I thought it might. That's a good guess, but Insidious
They have
doesn't
so
it.
many.
There's one kind of along that line. I don't think so. I'm double checking here. It's a big list, and I'm having to scroll a bunch, but I don't think Insidious made it. All right, let's go. Final guesses.
I know,
Here
I
we
got
go.
it.
Justin lead. So
Paranormal Activity.
you know what? Made the list.
That
It's
was
number
gonna
18.
be. That was gonna
Wow,
be
that was
my.
so close.
That
Number
was on
18.
my guesses.
I was like, we should say something with like a witch or something like.
Okay, that my
what?
brain was trying to think of Paranormal Activity.
Good job. It's actually wrong, but I'm going to give it to you anyway because I
What?
confused this.
Oh, okay.
I confused it.
Thank you.
Final Destination is
That-
actually.
that was going to be my next guess.
Really?
Sorry. Well,
Wow.
That's what the roller coaster. I was
It
like,
is.
they have
That's
a
the
roller
roller coaster.
coaster, and
That was number
and the bad
18,
things happen.
not
The
Paranormal
tanning
Activity.
bed?
They're in a tanning bed,
Yeah.
yes. And Rochelle was like,
Oh yeah, they like see their own deaths and
What?
stuff.
Yes.
Yeah. That's number 18. I'm
kept-
going to give you that point. I'm not giving you. I mean, to get
Well,
one
Final
point.
Destination was going to be my last guess.
Well, there you go. You just
That's
used
about
your
all we
last guess,
got.
but you got a point. Paranormal Activity's not on here. All right, final guess, Jess. What do you got? If you get it right because you have no strikes. Oh no, you got one strike. Okay, so the next person to get one right. Y'all guess, you guess. Next person to get one right. Next team. You might got a guess? You got a guess over there, Rochelle? Got a guess? Or are you all out? You're like, I'm totally out.
I'm going to be shooting in the dark.
You and me go shooting in the dark.
I can think of another one, but I don't remember the name of it. So it's not going to help.
If we describe the plot, do we
yeah,
get a
that's
point?
like what I'm thinking. I can think of the
If
plot. They go in the house.
I'd love to hear it.
I don't know. I'm sorry.
I would love to hear the
You
plot.
might be able to.
I'm going to tell you the plot.
Go for it. I'd love to hear this description.
If I guess it, if I-
House of what? It's like wax.
House of Wax.
And they
That's
all.
only one.
Oh,
The
that's
House of
only
Wax
one.
with Paris Hilton.
I have no
Yes.
idea. I cannot
Yeah.
tell you.
And no, that's just
Okay,
one.
then the
That's
other
not- There
one
might
that-
be a sequel, but there's not like 8 of them.
Yeah. Okay. The last one I was thinking of was this. This is going to sound stupid because it's sound like all of them, so I almost don't want to say it.
That's why I said I would love to hear the description.
I know.
Well, there's like this
There's
girl and she's screaming and she gets
No.
killed. There's a scantily clad
No,
girl.
I'm thinking of the ones
that's
where
on there.
it's always the house that's haunted. There's at least 2 of them.
Talking
The
about Amityville Horror.
No, there's always a house that's
That'd be a
like
good guess.
haunted. It's not Paranormal Activity.
The Amityville Hoarder on
Hoarder.
TLC this fall.
You don't know what I'm talking about?
You thought a house was haunted? Well, now it's full of crap.
Check these hoarders. Sorry.
My Amityville was my guess for you on that. The
No.
house.
No.
Cabin in the Woods.
Yes, that's what it was.
Okay.
Is that right?
No, it's not on the list, but that's what you're thinking.
No. But
Yeah,
that's
you're
what I'm
thinking of Cabin
thinking
in
of.
the
Let's hear
Yeah.
this list, brother.
Number 18, Final Destination. Number 17, Phantasm, 5 films. Wouldn't have gotten that one. Number 16,
No.
The Evil Dead, 5 films.
No.
Number
The Evil
15,
Dead?
I really thought Jess would get number 15.
Oh, what is it?
It's recent. The earliest was 2013. The latest was 2021. So from 13 to 21, there were 5 films in this series.
What is it?
Considered horror, but it's more like realistic into the world. It's like a political thing. The Purge.
Oh,
I thought you would get The Purge.
Oh, I did not think
I don't
of
even
that.
consider that to be horror.
I said
think
it's
of
horror.
that.
It is, but
Yeah.
it's also like, well, okay. It is, isn't.
I'm shocked that Paranormal Activity didn't make it.
This is
but
where, well,
The
it's just about
Purge
how
did.
many. It's just about how many they have. It's not
Yeah,
rank. It's just
I
about how
guess.
many they have.
Yeah.
The Wolfman was 6 films.
No.
That's like, I was like, these are being very broad. Romero's Dead Saga. That's foreign. I don't know what that
what?
is. Tremors. Kind of a blast from the past. Tremors. Kind of a comedic horror. Child's Play. You got. Nobody actually said Friday the 13th. That's coming up soon.
Well, I said Jason and Freddy.
I know, but then you didn't come back to it. I gave you Nightmare on Elm
Oh, I
Street.
thought
and
you
then
gave
didn't
me
come-
both.
No, I gave you the
Oh,
one.
sorry.
I was being nice to both teams.
You're
but-
good.
Number 9 was the Conjuring universe.
Oh, see,
Another
if I would have
recent
said
one.
something
I was
with
When you said
Insidious.
Insidious, I thought you would get Conjuring next. Nightmare on Elm Street, you said. The Mummy was considered in this.
really?
Yeah, but that's, I mean, most of those aren't even scary at all. So
Yeah, I
don't
wouldn't
blame
have
you for
guessed
not- I
that.
would not
I've
have guessed
watched
The
them,
Mummy.
so you know it's not scary.
Yeah.
Saw, you got Hellraiser.
Oh.
That's kind of an 80s classic, but I guess they made one in 2022. 11 films for Hellraiser. That was one that I was at. Friday the 13th has 12 films. That's Jason, by the way. Ski mask guy.
Jason.
Hockey mask guy.
Jason versus
Halloween, you got at number 3. Number 2, Puppet Master.
No
Has
way.
15 films. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about? That's creepy. The Puppet Master.
I can't look at
puppets.
that.
Yeah, it's creepy. And number 1 was Dracula with 23
What?
films. Although Dracula's,
Dracula.
I said it was very broad. I wasn't going to count that anyway. I mean, if you guessed
It's like
it, sure.
fantasy to me.
Yeah, it is. That's our Halloween stuff because we're talking about fear. After the break, we're just going to talk about what we're scared of and how we can overcome it.
Afraid your team won't like you, won't like your meetings, or you might be too quiet for them? Check us out at ps.company and book us today.
That was dynamite.
You're so good at that.
Dynamite. See,
Off
that's
the
why,
cuff, off the
that's
cuff.
why I'm glad Jess is leaving, you know?
Well, see, I got to be planned and organized and structured.
That's very conscientious of you. I like it.
Yes. And I won't apologize.
I appreciate Anj being open, ready to go.
She's
and I like that. She tied it in with the
openness.
phrase.
33% open to experience.
Once she figured out how to
She
take
is
the
having-
test.
she
I don't
is
know what
having-
percentage was not knowing instructions. It's like, these are pretty simple.
She
moment
that's
of
actually
panic,
on brand for
where I
me.
was like, was that
Yeah.
me? I was not right.
I make my
that
own
number
rules.
before it is. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, yeah.
To be fair to the audience, it is just wrapped up in the paragraph and then suddenly down in list form.
It is in bold.
No way. It's thank you. I was like, it's in bold.
Yeah, I didn't see it in bold.
75% of the people who have taken the test on the Good Leader podcast understood it immediately.
This says something about my personality, though, because I just looked at the list. I jumped all the paragraphs. I didn't care about them, and I went right to the list.
Your number one is in a sentence form.
It's
the rest
mine
of them
was
are
in a
just
full
list.
freaking paragraph form. That's probably why I missed it.
And 50% of
interesting.
us took the correct test the first time.
Booyah! Welcome back to my good graces, Jess. All right.
And 50% of us are more self-aware because of it.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? Evolve or end. That's what I say. Keep going. All right. Good job, everybody. Hey, today we're talking about fears, and this is a super fun episode. Halloween's coming up. I hope you're safe. I hope you enjoy whatever festivities of which you partake from, Halloween to Hallelujah nights, whatever you do in between there. Big fan of Hallelujah nights growing up. Did you ever go to a Hallelujah night? Did your church have
they called
like
this something
that?
different, but it's same concept.
Same concept? Yeah, and then Hallelujah nights evolved into trunk or treats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I was
what I
going to
did.
the trunk or treats for sure.
Yeah.
I hated trunk or treat when it came out. I was like, come on, we're losing, come on, weak sauce. This is just cheap skating.
I just wanted as much candy as I could get, and I didn't care about anything else.
Speak
love
for
a good
yourself.
carnival.
I was like, this is great. I had a pillowcase.
Yeah, but did you are you old enough to experience what trunk or treat was before trunk or treat?
What?
That's my point. Like when it was just a carnival, like a Hallelujah night or something. More personable.
Oh, when you said
Trick or treats.
Hallelujah night, I was
Trick or
like
treats, you're
thinking
just
that there
going
was
through.
like music.
Nah,
like,
that was
there was
just
songs, that
in
it
the
was like
80s,
a worship
in
night.
the-
And I was like, that
no,
sounds
in the
not as
80s
fun
or
for me as a
90s.
kid.
No, we went to a real. I know what you're
In
talking
the
about.
80s or 90s, the churchy thing to do was to
It was
not
a
do a
full-on-
Halloween event. It was
Yeah.
to do a Hallelujah event.
Yeah.
But it was like
Which
carnival.
was still a carnival.
It
I
wasn't
mean,
like
yeah.
a church service. It was
No,
like
no. It was a carnival.
yeah.
And that evolved into the trunk or treats
Yeah.
of the 2000s.
I got a lot of candy at both, so honestly, I didn't.
Yeah, you get candy. It's great. I'm just saying. I've been to all of them. Okay. All right. I found these 8 biggest fears that you deal with. And this is not, I really like this list because this is not like a ranking. This is not a top. This was just some general things that people deal with. And coming out of our imposter syndrome conversation, I thought this was really good. So what I want to do is just read them quickly. And we're going to talk about our experience, not with all of them, but I'm going to read all of them super quickly. And then we're going to say, ooh, I identify with that one. I feel that. I've dealt with that, and especially just once again, the commonplace. How can we overcome this? How can we be better leaders? Because the thing is, everyone deals with some sort of fear. On some, like we've talked about with the imposter syndrome. Maybe it's a scale. Maybe it's not all out like I'm petrified, but it's like, ooh, I'm worried about that. The cousin of fear, worry, doubt, all of those, anxious, all of those things. Well, we all deal with that. Even the most successful people. No one. That is also a great myth. Even confident people, they don't have it all together. They're worried. They're scared. Some of them fake it till they make it. Others deal with it in different ways. But there's no one who's just like, I am. If they are, I will say this. If you run into someone in your life, I'm going to make a bold statement here, okay? That's kind of clickbaity, but not on purpose.
All right, let's hear it.
If you do find someone like that, get ready because they're going to get in trouble for a scandal very soon.
Yeah.
Like if you find someone who is literally like, I am not, I am legitimately confident and not dealing with any fears and all that.
Yeah.
Get ready. They are about to abuse or molest someone.
So they're a narcissist.
And seriously. I'm
Yeah.
like, I just watched the documentary
Abuse or
over.
molest.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was just so
What?
insane.
Over who? Which one?
Appreciate you listening. No, the Mr. McMahon documentary.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You're talking about that. Yeah.
Yes.
I missed that.
Which there are lots of accusations of indictments going on right now, but this was filmed right before all that came out. And then when it came out, he stopped doing interviews with the documentary. Makes sense. But it's fascinating.
Wow.
And it's now there is someone who I would say genuinely, wow, maybe you're just as confident as you act. Yeah. And guess what? It led to some not good stuff.
Yeah.
For the Good Leader podcast, hey, if you're out there and you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be dealing with this. That's what I think the whole imposter syndrome was like. We all deal with it to some degree, in some way. But as we do that, then here are a few that this list, and this is from the Science of People. It's just kind of a fun curation type website. But number 1 is fear of failure. Number 2, fear of rejection. Number 3, and once again, if you're listening in the audience, I want you to kind of think of, ooh, okay, I deal with this. Because what this is almost like a Misery Loves Company type episode. Wow, I deal with that, and I'm not the only one. Number 3, fear of change. Number 4, fear of public speaking. Wow, interesting. Number 5, fear of imperfection or not being good enough, which is very appropriate for all of our imposter syndrome conversation in the last 2 episodes. Hey, speaking of, on this, Sheryl Sandberg, great quote right here. Our girl, done is better than perfect.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Hashtag absolutely.
Love it.
Number 6, fear of vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
All right, stepping onto Queen Brené's territory there.
Mhm.
Fear of vulnerability. Number 7, excuse me, I got off track. Fear of time. Wow, time anxiety.
That's an interesting
I know,
one.
fear.
Wow.
That's why I like this list. It was like, okay, this time anxiety or productivity shame. Productivity shame.
I
What does
kind
that
of have
even
a little bit
mean?
of that.
I bet so. I
I
like
do not.
productivity
I'm not
shame.
nowhere near that.
I like
Yeah,
that
I got a
phrase.
little bit, for
Don't you
sure.
like that? I have that.
Yeah.
A lot
I
of
have
my
that.
friends have that.
Like
that.
And
Wait,
then the
can you
feeling that
unpack that more? I have a question.
time anxiety or productivity shame is the feeling that there's never enough time. Perhaps you feel rushed through life or like you can't get enough done in one day.
Yeah.
William Penn, old school quote here. Time is what we want most, but what we use worst.
Huh.
Wow, interesting.
Facts, King.
Yeah, pretty good. Way to go, old school. Thanks for giving us the state of Pennsylvania. Number 8, fear of loneliness.
Mm.
Okay. So those are the 8. Which one jumps out at you? Jess, is it fair to say fear of time or was it something else? That was
Yeah.
the one that you
That's a good one.
outwardly emoted the most.
I'm definitely not fearful of being vulnerable.
Okay.
No fear there. What was the first 2?
Failure, rejection.
I have some rejection, fear of rejection in me.
Okay. Ladies, how about you? Anything here? Failure, rejection, time, public speaking, loneliness.
My top 2 are probably vulnerability and loneliness.
Wow, really?
Fears.
Loneliness, huh?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. More,
so?
probably more so in the workplace. And I wouldn't say I deal with it as much anymore. I think the younger leader in me was much more, because the higher you go up in leadership, the more lonely you kind of have to be.
Amen.
In a sense.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
And if you're not,
John
might get you in
Maxwell has
trouble.
this quote. You know what? Let's diatribe for a second. John Maxwell has this quote that says, anyone who says it's lonely at the top is doing it wrong.
Yeah. Well, you're not there.
I don't think that's true.
Anyone who says it's
Lonely at the top is doing it wrong. That's one of his
That's
famous
not my lived
catchphrases. Me
experience.
neither. I actually think he's just trying to convince himself of that.
I
And
think
trying to be cute.
The more I've tried to not be lonely, the more trouble I've gotten myself in. Like,
Well-
there I was trying to.
I
be
know.
relational and-
absolutely.
That shot me in the
So my point is the classic idiom, it's lonely at the top. I would say, yeah, that's pretty true. So do you have to be aware of that and work in other ways to overcome that? But that fear, so I don't know.
Well, and I also think that does not mean, I talk about this with my therapist all the time, that does not, just because that is true here, does not mean that is true in my entire life. Like
yeah,
my
it's
job
lonely at the
can
top
feel
here
lonely.
and then fulfilled in other ways in other areas.
But I
Yeah.
can bring my
Yeah.
husband into that lonely, or I
Right.
have these friends, or I have this coach, or I
Yeah.
have, again, this therapist, whoever, to help reconcile. So I do think that's a misconception. And I really used to think about it the other way. Like it's lonely at the top, and I'd almost wear that as like a badge of honor. Again, vulnerability being high on the list for me
Okay.
too. So
Okay.
just like a whole wall of you don't get it, you can't be in it. And if I let someone in, that's not going to work very well. And my life's shown that, so I'm not going to do it. I've evolved out of that to that can be true. I can, because of my position, lose some of the relationship, maybe more so I would want to have, but just can't given the nature of where I'm at. But also in my life have very rich relationships outside of that role, have a lot of opportunity to live in very good community and fruitful community outside of that role. So I think sometimes people say that very all-inclusive. And I'm thinking of John Maxwell. I feel like in the back of his head, maybe that's why he's trying to counter that is like,
Yeah.
I'm not lonely as an individual, so it must not be lonely at the top. And I'm like, oh no, it still is. Let's be really clear
Well,
on
I think
that.
he is trying to coach like not wearing it as a badge of honor.
And
I think that's
and I can
probably
agree
what
with
I think
that.
that's probably what he's trying to attack.
I can agree with that, yeah.
But
Doesn't make it not true, though.
well, that's what I was saying. But early on, I mean, he kind of says, that if
Yeah.
you're doing it wrong. Like if it's lonely at the top, it's because you're not inclusive of others. Your leadership style needs to change. Those sorts of things. And my found experience is like, actually, I don't think that's true, John. I mean, which
Yeah.
John Maxwell has a lot of really great stuff, but that doesn't mean he's perfect in some of his things. I mean, that's one where I'm like, I think that's the motivational cutesy speaker coming out. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's an idiom that's like, it's one of those things that's like, wow, that's catchy on a slide or that's catchy, but it's not.
Well, I'm just thinking like there's no way I can have healthy boundaries as a leader, at least the kind of leader I want to be, and then have this big party on top too. Like I have not experienced a world where both of those things get to be true. Now I may have a few closer relationships. I might be closer to you in where I sit in, maybe Carmel. And maybe that's where I experience less loneliness. But overall, all in all, I would not say.
Well, I think the general, if you just think of it as, this is probably oversimplifying it, but if you just think of it as a pyramid, that's like, well, okay, the top of the pyramid is more narrow.
It's the smallest.
than the bottom of the pyramid. So anyway, I do like your interpretation, though, of using that as a statement to combat isolationists or wearing it as a badge of honor or saying, okay, anything else? Rochelle, anything else jumping out to you? I like that you were intrigued by the fear of time.
Yeah. I was just kind of like, are you afraid of time passing? Or are you afraid of, I don't know.
Well, to me, it's akin.
But now it's more like that. Like there's not enough time. Like, do I have enough time to get that done, or I need more time in order to?
Yeah, it definitely fits into my organization. Like everything needs to fit in a schedule.
Well, I was going to say it might fit into your perfectionism because it fits into my superhumanism. You know, saying like, oh, there's just not enough hours in the day. Well, why? Well, because I've created a mountain, a self-imposed mountain that I have to get done today.
Yeah,
and
it actually irritates me when people don't have any concept of time. That I'm like,
okay, wow, what does that mean?
I'm like, I wish more people would
people
be
walking
fearful
around and being like, what
of
day
time.
is it? There are no days.
That's what they act like out here.
I think I see that. I think
That's
I
what
see
they
it.
act like.
Y'all need to be a little bit more fearful of time.
Should be higher
what
on
do you
your
mean?
list.
Are you mean like people who like aren't hitting deadlines or aren't acting like there's
time
no
matters.
urgency?
Time matters.
Or is it like
Subtweet?
they're like that's
Yeah,
super
I'm like, wow, this
easy.
sounds
No. I'm not talking at you. I'm
This
just
is your
saying.
last episode. Just put some names.
If you're listening,
that's not at me.
Drop some stuff.
That is not at me.
if you're listening, please show up on time for the love of God.
Oh my gosh, I was late like 3 minutes and I slacked.
I am not talking about
Yeah, I
you.
was like,
Well, coincidentally, on a day
talking about
that I
you.
was late today.
no,
You were not. You rolled in like 2 minutes.
I was
after
setting
all
up
of
the
us.
I did.
camera.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I'm just saying
He
that
was
was
taking
the
it.
example.
He felt
That's the
you
example
me
you
personally.
used.
You are not a victim.
I'm never going to see you again the rest
You
of my
are not
life.
a
I don't want to
victim.
have this
Please,
negative experience.
Are you joking?
She's gonna come see you.
Being
Probably
honest.
not. I mean, my
I'm being
experience.
completely
is-
honest.
My experience has been you
I
never
mean-
see them again.
I love you. You're wonderful, but when am I going to see you?
Whenever you want to.
You're not coming to Muskogee again, and I ain't driving to Tulsa. So that's the way it goes.
Man, that's truth.
We will
We
talk
could have
about
a whole
this later.
episode on
We
that.
will. Hey, loneliness time. Being honest here. This is real.
It's
this
real.
Is real
They
talk.
leave you and they leave you.
That's right.
Yeah.
You stop paying them, they stop coming around. That's my experience.
That's
All of
mine
your
too.
friends paid is my next question.
Yeah. How many friends in my life do I have to give a paycheck to? Hashtag all of them.
Well, you need to get more friends that you don't work with.
Yeah. You
I
gotta
know.
find your
Trust
friends.
me. Trust me. I know.
You need friends that you don't work with.
I know.
That
I'm
could
trying.
be a whole episode too.
I'm
Jess.
trying.
I feel what Jess is saying, and it probably ties more to responsibility, but I felt that for like my friends. It really not even like the people I worked with, but friends. And
Oh,
I
okay.
think it's because my parents never, if I graduated and did not then have a job, where would I be living? Like there was no other option for me.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of my other friends, parents, they were just very gracious to moved in with them, live with them. We'll still pay for the car, and that's you know what? If you had that privilege, that's great.
Good for them. That's what I say.
But that was not my lived. So from the time of graduation on, it was like it doesn't matter if I don't like the job. I need a
Well,
job.
you gotta have
Like
a job.
it doesn't
Me
matter
too.
if I don't want to work 2 jobs. I am going to work 2 jobs.
Yeah.
I think
I'm
if
with you, girl.
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm
I
thinking
can
if I'm
see that
thinking
then.
from
I
Jess's
can see what you're
perspective, it's
saying
like, are you ever gonna?
What's your
matters
what
to
is
me.
your backup plan?
Well, 'cause
Do you
I
have a
don't-
plan?
Okay, that's so interesting because I don't think of that as time and what you're saying, like a concept of time and urgency. I don't equate it that way. I think of that as like
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
aspirations, laziness. What are you doing? Achievement. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's where I go. Like it's more about like, don't
'Cause
you
you're very,
want to
you're,
do anything?
You're very like wonder and goal setting, and
Yes.
I am very do.
I know that's fascinating.
And tenacity.
It
like,
is. Yes.
Yeah, we just
Yeah,
look
so
at
like
it from
at
different.
some
But looking
point,
at the
get your
same
life
person,
going
yes,
here.
at the at the same person, you're interpreting that as time,
Yeah.
and urgency, and
Yeah.
I'm interpreting it as desire,
Fulfillment.
and fulfillment,
Yeah.
and like how can that be fulfilling? You're doing nothing,
Yeah.
and you're going. So my question is why or what, and your question is when.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Jess, look at us. You want to leave this? Loser. All right.
Hey, you're the one that's excited about it.
I am. I'm thrilled.
Mask.
He's gonna go cry in the bathroom in a bit.
Yeah, I'm faking it till I make it.
Remember earlier when he said he was
Isn't
gonna
this
go?
cool? Isn't this awesome? Fake it till you make it. Isn't this great?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, here's why I wanted to bring this out. It is Halloween. Fear. One of my favorite definitions of fear, by the way, is a lack of knowledge or experience. And I want to encourage people that if you are fearful, worried, there is, I know that we keep joking about fake it till you make it. I would say I am more growth mindset. You're not good at that yet. There is no try. There is a try. There is a go for it. Try it. It will not work out the way that you think. You've got to be bad before you can be good. You've got to be an amateur before you can be a professional. All of those things. So fear is often a lack of knowledge or experience. And so on some of these where it's like, I don't fear of failure. You will fail, actually. Fear of public speaking. You will probably be bad. But you can only learn to swim from a book so much. Sometimes you've just got to get in the water, see how it goes, and all of those things. Now, I know that I'm making it overly simplistic today. But the purpose of this episode is not for us to go a mile deep, but really just to recognize, you know what? I am fearful of different things, even these. Like, maybe I do have a fear of time or a fear of loneliness. There are some of these that were a little unusual, not your typical list, which is why I liked it. And then, of course, some heavy hitters like rejection and failure that we talk about often. My encouragement to everyone out there today, as we continue this theme of self-awareness, self-discovery, growth, being a better leader, is if you are unhappy with some of your results or actions, challenge what the fear is behind it. If you're unhappy with, this keeps happening to me, or this is going on around me, or I'm worried, scared, fearful, anxious, challenge yourself, not just on the action. And Jess, you're totally right. My MO is like, okay, I'm going to set a goal. I'm going to do something. I'm going to fix it. Another perspective is to challenge, what is behind this? Do I have a fear of loneliness? Mm-hmm. And therefore I am surrounding myself with people all the time. And, do I have a fear of rejection? Do I have a fear of failure? And therefore I'm not even setting goals. Mm-hmm. But it's like, you know what? I'm just not a goal setter. Oh, you know what? I'm just not. No, that's just not who I am. Well, or behind that is this worry, this doubt, this fear. And that's a healthier thing to challenge. Mm-hmm. So that's my encouragement with this Halloween episode today. If you're not happy with the results or the experiences you're having, take a giant step back and ask myself, what is my fear? Mm-hmm. And answer, and you don't have to tell this to anybody. If you have a wonderful therapist, like Anj, hook up to the buzzers and go through the question.
I highly recommend to reach out to me for contact information.
But if you're hard-headed and you're not going to pay for therapy like me, then just take a step back, look in the mirror and go, okay, what am I actually afraid of? And there have been times that I have legitimately done this. And I've come to two discoveries at various points in my life. One discovery is I actually do go, wow, I am afraid this is going to fail for me. And because of that, that is shaping the way that I'm hedging a bet too much, or I'm not asking the right people the right questions because of this fear of failure, rejection. Other times when I challenge myself and I've asked myself that question, the most beautiful thing happens and I go, actually, I am afraid of that, but that is ridiculous. Like I really just go, wow, that is what I'm afraid of. Mm-hmm. But then I can logically go, who cares? I actually, I'm worried about, like, for example, something in our circle might be like, well, I'm just worried about how the team is going to react. But then I go, you know what? That is a pretty ridiculous fear. Mm-hmm. I should just move forward or have that conversation. Mm-hmm. Either way, I have never been unhappy with this self-diagnosis. I have never looked in the mirror and gone, well, I wish I hadn't done that. Mm-hmm. Never. Even if I don't get the results and actions I want, helps me breathe a little bit easier. So as we go out there, final question, Jess, what are you doing for Halloween? Got any big Halloween plans? Are you a Halloween party kind of gal?
Of course I am.
Okay. All right. Not surprised.
Something that's interesting, though, is I never know what to be. And I really struggle with choosing a costume.
I gave you some great costumes.
You did.
On the last episode.
For Halloween this year, I am...
Who's the Joan of Arc girl? What's her name?
Chapel Roan.
Chapel.
She's everything right now. But I'm giving out candy at a friend's house.
Oh.
And there is actually karaoke at one of our fafavorite spots on Thursdays.
Oh,
and so Halloween happens to be on Thursday this year. And I will be done with 75 hard. So I will be going to Halloween karaoke.
Nice.
Yep.
Anj, are y'all trick-or-treaters? Taking the boys out?
We've done something different every year. So this year, we will probably take them trick or treating.
Classic
tonight.
Classic
Yeah.
door to door trick or treating.
Yeah, well, so we live in a pretty small, like a very kid-friendly neighborhood.
That's nice.
We didn't know until last year that they go like really all out.
Oh, Halloween hard.
Food trucks, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
hello hard.
Food trucks, yeah. They really do the most to their houses.
Wow.
So
food trucks.
yeah, we have to go
Oh my word, that is
to like the other side of the neighborhood. But I didn't know the cheat sheet about just like drive your kids around. We're in the freezing cold last year.
Oh, yeah,
freezing
orange
cold.
Drive, yeah.
We're just Liam's just shivering. We're trying to go door to a bunch of doors don't even have candy. Yeah. They're like, oh, we're all out. And then I turn on all these expert parents out here just driving their kids around. They get all the candy, jump back in the car. I'm like,
They got
my
there
kid's a
faster.
kindergartner.
And they're driving
faster.
past you.
Hopefully-
Look at those noobs.
Yeah. It shows.
Hey, get your steps in.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween, suckers.
Yep. That's
Rochelle,
what it
you Halloween in it in any way,
Oh,
capacity?
yeah. We're going to have a little bonfire.
Oh.
We're going to carve some pumpkins.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
we're going to have
okay.
a costume party. You know,
Nice.
there's no theme, which is devastating for me.
Oh, okay.
I need a theme. I want a theme.
Isn't the theme Halloween?
No, guys. Last year, the Halloween party I went to, the
Oh,
theme
man.
was it's a
Dynamite
Barbie
drop.
world, and we
Stop.
all
So
were
everybody was
different.
Barbie.
Oh,
Okay,
that's
we were
fun.
different kinds
That's
of Barbie,
fun.
and it was like, which Barbie are you?
So
What is your
fun.
Yeah,
job?
that's
See,
cool.
thank you. How
That's cool. I do
amazing.
like that.
I got outvoted. I had some really amazing themes, and they all got outvoted.
To nothing.
Barbie was
to
just
nothing.
it though
Yeah.
last year. Barbie was so.
So what's your
in the
costume
season.
going to be? We gave you some great
Well,
episode ideas. Going to be Challenger tennis player?
Yeah, because you know I love sports, and
Give me an
it
idea.
is my life.
Giving you some
and
ideas.
I know so much
is.
about
Not
it.
a lot. It's not fully spoiled.
Mary Todd Lincoln?
Just no.
I really don't know what to be. It's so annoying every year. One of my friends told me to be Carrie Bradshaw from Sex and
Oh.
the City.
Sure.
But like heels.
That's
Yeah, I
hard.
don't
You
know.
would have to wear the heels to be
No,
her.
and you have to. So
yeah.
probably not.
All right. Well, we're past the point of the audience caring. So whatever you're doing out there, be safe, be happy, enjoy your Halloween, and most of all, be a good leader. Just the podcast won't be the same without you.
I know.
I have more fun
I've been waiting
podcasting
for
with you
you.
than anyone.
Thank
Seriously,
you.
sorry. No offense, Anj. No offense,
Relief.
Rochelle.
I'm gonna miss this place a lot, especially this podcast.
I know. It's been really fun. I really enjoy your love for presidential trivia.
Love you all so much. Historical trivia.